Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The young and restless. Billy and Victor bring their bickering overseas. Sharon feels the heat from Nikki, and Audra irks the Abbotts. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Nikki, Victor, Sharon, and Nick arrive at the garden of Dumas' estate. Marveling, they realize it's a maze. Carter, Dumas' assistant, explains that at the center of it, they'll find lunch and an itinerary for the day. Sharon gushes. What a wonderful idea. Nick frowns. Is it? Sharon forces him to admit it's unique. Victor is told by Carter that Dumas will join his guests once they all arrive. Carter intones, "Please, enter." Victor says they were on the train with Billy and Sally. Where are they? Carter says they've gotten a head start as they hear their voices from within the maze. In the maze, Sally thinks they're lost. Billy jokes that maybe Victor will never find his way out of the maze. Sally's feeling very Alice in Wonderland-y. Billy marvels at how over-the-top all of this is. Sally thinks Dumas wants them to enjoy themselves. Billy thinks it will be an interesting few days. Billy and Sally keep going until they reach the center of the maze. They marvel at the elegantly set table and buffet of food. She gushes over the whimsical details and gorgeous colors. This is just the beginning of God knows what. Billy reminds her he's the only one who spoke to Dumas. He snarks about Victor, and then announces he's starving. They debate over whether or not to touch the buffet. Sally insists they wait, so Billy keeps busy by kissing her. In the maze, Nikki complains that her shoes were not made for trekking through a maze. Sharon urges her to think about it as an adventure, which earns her a dirty look. Victor guides Nikki to a bench to sit and declares, "This is ludicrous." He wonders who this guy is trying to impress. Sharon thinks he's trying to get them to relax and not take things so seriously. Nick muses that he clearly went to a lot of trouble to make things interesting. Plus, he wants to find the food. Let's go. He and Sharon head off. Nikki asks what Victor makes of all of this. Is this friendly or predatory? The marvel over the theatrics. Victor feels he's trying to impress someone. Nikki senses that Victor has a plan. She'd love to know. He smirks. In due time. As they continue trekking through the maze, Sharon and Nick reminisce about a maze they once built out of hay bales for Faith's school. She tells him he's a good father and a good man. Nick will take the compliment. Thanks for saying that. It means a lot. In the center of the maze, Billy takes photos to document what's going on. One of the most reclusive billionaires in the world is about to reveal himself. This is great for Abbott Communications. Sally tells him he's brilliant. He says she's the most beautiful thing here. They bicker again about him wanting the food. She has a distraction and pulls him away to make out. Sally complains about them staying in luxury train cars rather than the estate. As Nick and Sharon near the food, Nikki and Victor reappear. Nick marvels that they caught up quickly. Victor's getting tired of this. Nick makes jokes about being hungry enough to eat a shovel horse. Victor thinks this is Dumas' attempt to frustrate them and wear them down. They can't let that happen. Off they go again, with Nick grunting, "Pretty sure we already went this way." Eventually, they arrive at the center and Billy pops out. "Victor, I thought you'd never make it." Victor chortles, "Billy boy." Billy teases, "Are you slowing down, old man?" Nikki sniffs. That was uncalled for. Victor mocks him for being all puffed up. Billy reminds him Dumas reached out to him. Victor wonders if he's bait. Billy keeps it up, so Nick tells him to chill out. Nikki warns Victor and Billy to set aside their animosity for the rest of the trip. Victor thinks Billy's in way over his head. Billy counters that Victor keeps acting like the center of the universe, but he has no idea what's going on either. Victor says they'll see about that. Jack, Diane, and Kyle arrive in the train car and read a welcome note from Dumas. Jack's curious what the main event will be. Diane thinks it sounds like a cage fight. Jack says if the fight comes to them, they will be ready. Diane wants to relax and enjoy this, but she's worried this experience will turn ugly for all of them. Jack says all three families will do whatever is necessary to protect what is theirs. He has a feeling Dumas will be playing everyone against each other. Kyle reads a quote about hoping and waiting from the Count of Monte Cristo. Jack wonders if they should hope for the downfall of Victor Newman. Kyle would love to see it. Jack repeats they can, and will handle anything the mustache throws at them. Kyle would never do anything to upset Claire, but it would feel good to see Victor on his knees. He hopes Dumas will make it happen. Diane wonders if they're the first to arrive. Jack says they're not. He smelled Nikki's perfume as soon as they entered the train car. This irks Diane to no end. But before she can say anything, Audra appears. Bonjour, everyone. Kyle asks if she wouldn't rather ride in her private sleeping car. Audra says this is perfect. What better way to kick off their battle royale? This is going to be so much fun. Audra prances around the train car and asks why they haven't opened the bubbles yet. They all look like they're going to a funeral. Kyle says there's a lot to consider. Audra's just glad he changed his mind and decided to come. She taunts about him wanting to stay home and hold his girlfriend's hand. Diane points out Cole has pneumonia. Audra apologizes, but all she can think about is their marketing plan to give the world some drama. People will eat it up. Will they be Team Kyle or Team Audra? Either way, they'll eat it up and will buy both perfumes. What's not to love? Noticing Kyle's quiet, she hopes his parents haven't talked him out of this. Kyle is up for the challenge, but notices a look between his parents. Audra opens the champagne, and she and Kyle toast as they spar verbally. Diane wants to know how Audra snagged an invitation. She teases that she's sleeping with Dumas, then says, "I'm kidding." She had a reputation in the professional community. Kyle needles about her being Tucker McCall's sidekick. Audra says it's better than being a Nepo baby. Jack's curious what she'll do if she loses. She won't. Diane warns there's no such thing as an overnight success. Audra says Dumas is won. Kyle's sure there's more to the story. The train halts. They've arrived. Kyle taunts Audra that it's not too late to back out. Audra was born for this fight and is all in. She tells them to go ahead and underestimate her. It will make winning much more enjoyable. In the center of the maze, Billy and Nick are put out that the women won't let them eat until Dumas shows up. Nikki supposes the Abbotts and Winters are still on the train. Billy needles Victor about pretending he knows what's going on. Victor chuckles, always ready to be surprised. At the buffet, Sharon catches Nick stealing grapes and stops him. He says the best part about this whole thing is seeing her happy and relaxed. She thanks him again for insisting she come. She wishes there wasn't so much tension. It's not just Billy and Victor. Nikki obviously wishes she hadn't made the trip. Nick reminds her his mom will never think anyone's good enough for him. Sharon can't wait to see her when Phyllis shows up grandstanding. Nick reminds Sharon she's her new bestie. Across the way, Victor reminds Nikki that Sharon's been through a lot. Nikki complains about her coming on this trip. London was supposed to clear his head. He promised her they're friends and nothing more. She'll hold him to it. Victor irks her by saying anything could happen in this romantic setting. At the start of the maze, Carter refuses Kyle's outstretched hand and tells him he knows who he is. As Carter explains the maze, Audra mutters to Kyle that the man is a robot. Diane wonders if this is some sort of trap. Jack won't let the Newmans think that they chickened out. They learn Dumas is still waiting on the Winters and Phyllis Summers to arrive. Jack frowns. Diane asks why Phyllis would be coming. Jack thinks this gets more curious by the minute. In the train car, Phyllis arrives alone and calls, "Hello." She reads the welcome note that tells her to wait and hope. She's not that type of gal, but is mollified by the champagne. Pouring some, she cheers to Dumas. In a study, a man watches her on a video feed. In the maze, Audra leads the way until Diane stops them and says, "We already went that way." Audra argues the point. Jack reminds them they all have to keep their cool. Audra suggests splitting up, but Diane doesn't want her alone with Kyle. They all keep going with Audra leading the way and saying, "Try to keep up." In the center of the maze, Billy and Victor continue bickering as Jack and his group arrive. Audra says to Diane, "I told you I knew what I was doing." Carter appears and intones, "I bring news." Carter announces that Dumas' flight has been delayed and he won't arrive until tomorrow. He's asked him to express his apologies and wants them to enjoy the food and drink. Jack asks what time they should expect Dumas tomorrow. Carter simply says, "Good day." Nikki tells Victor she was worried they were lured here for a big con. Victor guesses the plot thickens. In a study, a man watches them all on a video feed.